What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Plague Inc. Evolved the Cure. We are back here with Bacterion Mega Brutal, and this time we are using a task force and a slightly different strategy. We're using Crisis Manager for less authority loss in the country of deployment, Technical Officer for a reduced global infection rate, yeah, I think I like that. All of these are pretty good. Well, this one is also pretty good, but they're all really cool. Medical Coordinator, reduce authority loss from panic, which I like. Celebrity Scientist, reduce non-compliance from quarantine actions, which we will use this time. And Port Controller to reduce the chance of spreading by sea. Mega Brutal, as always, we just click a couple times. Acute miasma. I want to start in Egypt, because you can get to very many countries relatively quickly when you start in Egypt. And obviously we pick these to free up. And I think it started in France, and I'm just waiting for the team to become... Oh, that's a lot of countries. That's a lot of countries having a lot of cases very early. I do not like that. I do not like that. Quarantine Europe. Close Europe. We are completely going to close Europe because it's all over Europe already. I do not like that. What's the country of origin? Do we know that? Ukraine, okay. Yeah, I don't like that. We're going to close Europe straight down. And then the next thing we're going to have to do is get some of these to reduce the non-compliance, because if they're just all non-compliant, then well, all your best intentions just go down the drain. Let's fly to Spain. And right now we're just trying to somehow limit the non-compliance and limit it to Europe. We're just doing whatever we can to reduce the non-compliance and keep our authority from dropping to 0. And non-compliance is mostly under control. We're actually going to grab that for 13 resource points. Or do we? No, we don't. I want this for the smaller outbreaks. But we're not going down the entire tree like we did last time. And now we're going to try to limit the infection rate. We might actually have to do something about this. We're going to use them, and it doesn't really matter where we fly. Actually, Russia has a lot of total cases. So do the Baltic states. We might want to go there. We want to have masks so that our team doesn't spread the disease. There is a pop-up that you can get where your team starts helping the spread, so to speak, and we don't have the necessary equipment. We're actually going to have to use this. Oh my, that's a lot of cases in the Ukraine. And I'm just trying to limit cases right now, because once these countries just are completely overwhelmed, it becomes very difficult. It's starting to spread into Asia, which I don't like. But that's just the way it is. We're limiting cases right now with the lockdown, and that buys us time to make the whole thing less effective. We still use contact tracing, but the main difference is we actually use the lockdown in the starting area of the outbreak. And that severely reduces the number of countries it's spreading to early on. And now that we have reduced the basic infection, we also want to reduce some of the fatality rate, because right now it's probably going to kill too many people. As you can see, the case numbers are going down a little bit, so people don't really like that the lockdown is still in effect. And what that means is they will more and more discontent, and move over to that country, and I think we have to lift the lockdown soon. At least parts of it. Let's just enforce isolation. Try to get rid of the other ones. We will still have people unhappy, but that's just the way it is. We will actually use a speedy vaccine research, because that's our next step, and then I want to work my way up here to try to limit the number of deaths. And a great side effect of those is, see, we still have some that do not like our actions, but that's just the way it goes. And the numbers speak for themselves. They're still increasing, and right now we're getting Russia back under control, and then we probably have to go back to the Baltic states again. These help the vaccine research speed, and they reduce the fatality rate, so those are really good, and I think I have to lift the lockdown before it costs me too much. I'll probably call it back on them soon. This also increases the vaccine research speed, and I think the death rate is now okay, or the fatality rate down here. We now need to get rid of some of the infection rate. And try to reduce case numbers in some of those countries. I want local lockdowns, but that costs 20, so it's very expensive. Up to 16 though, so... Case numbers in Russia are fairly alright. Or do we do mask wearing? This one increased the vaccine manufacturing speed, so that one is very good, but I kind of like local lockdowns. I think they're very effective. We now try to use our team to decrease the infected here. Oh yeah, sure, put the Olympics back on, that's a great idea. Our research is getting along all right, and we are keeping it... It's not under control, but it's... a situation that we can probably deal with. Now I'm kind of waiting for those. There's nothing here we need right now. Reducing fatality rate would probably be pretty good. Yeah, they are reducing it right now. What is causing the lost disease spread? Okay. Yeah, it's in a lot of countries, and I don't think, unless we lock down again, I don't see how we stop the spread. It is now spreading into a lot of countries, but due to these response measures, we actually still have a lot of smaller outbreaks, so I'm actually getting contact tracing free. Obviously Europe is having high numbers, but everything else is having relatively low numbers. The UK is rising sharply, we need to have an eye on that. Actually, I want to stop the UK from exploding. As you can see, global numbers are fairly stable. China is springing upwards, well, need to keep an eye on that. And now we can get mask wearing, and then I want to get improved supply chains. Research is up to almost 60%. You just always have to keep an eye on everything here, because it can spiral out of control so quickly. We almost have 1 million cases in Germany. We need to limit that a little bit. Contact tracing effective in larger outbreaks might make sense right about now, and it costs us 7 points, which is a lot, but... You see, these contact tracing skills, they are always good, even when you go for some other strategies like this one, where you use the lockdown. But I think right now we had it contained to Europe for a long time, and that bought us a lot of time. And I'm now starting to prepare for rolling out the vaccine. Also, always keep an eye on your authority. Now we're losing it actually a lot. Well, disease spread is not something we can do much about right now. Unless we lock down the entire world, but that's probably not going to happen. And as long as we can keep the death numbers reasonable, which we can do with some of these lower cost initiatives as well. As long as we keep that reasonable, it's actually fine. We also have a pretty good infrastructure set up by picking this one early, so we should be alright with the manufacturing speed. Germany is back under control. These are going down. China gets next. So using your team to go from country to country and try to limit the infections is also very effective. I just don't think it's worth spending a point on to get them quicker from country to country. This one isn't very good. Yes, it reduces fatality rate, but it reduces authority as well, and I'm not a fan of reducing your own authority. If you can afford it, sure, go for it, but authority is a fragile thing, and once it starts collapsing, then we've yet to explore New Guinea. Should probably do that. China has cases going down, so that's good. I do want this though, it helps with the production. So that's good. We also get cases down here. They have a lot of cases. Let's fly over there. And now it's spreading to a lot of countries, and that's going to hurt us, but we're also 20% done with the production. I just don't think there is a point right now in locking down several, because it's already everywhere. We can lock down several countries, but I don't think there is a point in that because there are so many countries having it. Global warming still an issue, explains young girl. As one emergency issue dominates the headlines, a teenage girl reminds the world that global warming is still an issue. Politicians make non-committal noises. I'm not gonna comment on that. Reduce authority loss caused by high number of infected. What's all about the spread, not the high number. So that's not... We don't actually have a very high number, so... Oh, that was 7. That's a huge loss. Disease spread. I think it's time to pick up some extra authority. Just to be on the safe side. You can actually freeze it with censorship. Going to increase the game speed a little bit because not much is happening right now. Case numbers are going down and the spread isn't going to change much. Sure, it's going to spread to some of the remaining countries. That just happens. It's just a thing. Let's decrease the fatality rate a little bit more. Where's our team right now? It's in the US. They are under control now. With 33,000 cases here. Where do we have a lot of cases? In France, Germany, but it's going down there. We're back to 153,000 in China. So censorship is now out of effect again, so we are dropping a little bit again. It's all about the disease spread. We don't have very many deaths, comparatively. So it's all about the disease spreading into so many countries. Which is a problem, I agree, but what you gonna do? Production is halfway done. Can take quite a while. So getting at least that is very important. Pick up some extra authority just to buy ourselves some extra time. Right now it's not really spreading from country to country, and we are reducing the global number. We're at about 1 million now. Well, now it's going up again. Hold on, why is it going up so sharply? An 8% rise here. We don't have very many they have a lot of cases. Let's go to Brazil. Oh, the US is going up again. Quite sharply, actually. Now it's hovering around the same number. They had quite the jump. Pick up some more authority. Now we're up to 72 and we should be fine. Production is getting along nicely. Case numbers, yeah, they jumped, but right now they are fine again. Let's actually go to the US. They have a lot of cases. Oh, India's now a problem country. But we're releasing the vaccine, so we won. So this strategy is really all about going from country to country with your team and using an early lockdown to keep the disease in one place for a while to buy yourself some time. Yeah, that's really what it's all about. So that was pretty good. We only got 2 stars, which isn't very good, but oh well. Fatality rate was alright. It took a very long time. I will say that it's not a very aggressive strategy. It's one that is about buying time at the start and then having a very passive approach, trying to reduce the infection rate, trying to reduce the lethality, and then just slowly work your way towards the win. So it's a very conservative strategy. It's also about using your team to go from country to country, trying to make sure that none of the countries are just getting overwhelmed. And Europe looked quite bad for a while, as you can see where I like right at the start. Europe looked quite bad, but we kept it sort of under control for a while. And yeah, I think that was pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And until next time, farewell.